Hi, this is Mark Item with HONU Trading with a weekly review for the holiday week of July 3rd, 2023. Happy birthday, America. As always, it's education only, not recommendation to buy or sell. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. Job one always is risk management. Follow me on Twitter at HONU Management, HONU MGMT. And if you find this valuable, take a moment to like and subscribe. So today's agenda, the Bulls are back in town. For those of you old enough to remember Thin Lizzy, instead of if the boys want to fight, you better let them. If the bulls want to run, you better let them. Now, one other thing. Last Friday, we had this 24-hour coup, whatever the heck it was in Russia, and I put out, what the heck was that? What's the market reaction going to be? Well, after Monday, it was a yawn. So the week in review is really a St. Patty's Day type of tape on the heat map with lots of green, not a lot of red. The smalls outperformed the biggies this week, although the biggies did okay. And I would say we can remove the probably back to risk on. Financials, are they out of the woods yet? I don't know. I think they've probably, at least the big ones, crept into the meadow. So let's dive in. Clearly another week for the bulls. This is the heat map for the week, and you can see that Apple had a great week. Congrats on 3 trillion in market cap. Microsoft, Tesla both had good weeks. Amazon up a little bit, Nvidia flat, Google down, and Meta down a little bit. The financials we'll talk more about later, lots of green there. But if you look across all the industry groups, lots of green, other than food and beverage, defensive, very little red. So last week was an inside week. This is just a week ago. The high of last week contained within the high of the previous week, the same with the low. This week, a bullish outside week, and we are off to the races. So if you look out to the daily, where we bounced off of on Monday were those August 2022 highs that we'd taken out the prior week and then drifted back down. Monday, after the coup, whatever it was, tested that and then off to the races. Now, a question often comes up about divergences. So I have relatively equal highs in price, but I've got significantly lower high in the RSI, a momentum indicator. Well, this can get you leaning in one direction or the other, but I would clearly say a divergence, niet. Price is what matters, and price has been booming. Here we have the rising AVWAP from the all-time high, the 200, the 50, the 21, the 8-day. All those moving averages are stacked in the right order, and prices above them, although not hugely extended. So if we look at the intraday, well, here was the what the heck was that reaction on Monday, down a little bit, but still +3 net new highs. Tuesday, right back up, +82. Wednesday, basically a yawner, +90 new highs, even better. And new highs continue to accelerate throughout the week, according to IBD. So Thursday was a second day of slightly up, and then Friday, it was off to the races. So for the week, the SPY was up 2.3%. Jay Powell, well, that's all for today. I hope I triggered all your stops. Well, he had 2 shots on it. But he whiffed on talking the market down like I'd whiff on a Justin Verlander fastball. So the equal weighted SPY, the equal weighted Qs, bleh, they basically didn't do much. The equal weighted mid cap compared to SPY, equal weighted small cap compared to the SPY, they both had better weeks. Mid caps are closing in on their previous high. They're still not out of the woods yet, but that's definitely improvement. Zooming out a bit, not only is the SPY weekly, did we have a positive week, and we are above what had been resistance, then support, then resistance again, at 415, 420 level, but we've rocketed above that and rocketed above the August highs. 2 weeks in a row we've tested that and moved on. Now, IWM actually had a little bit better week percentage-wise, up 3.7, I believe. However, this resistance, broken, support, 6 different times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. different times that level's been tested as support, and it's held. However, the AVWAP from the all-time high still declining, although flattening out a bit, and price is stuck right below that, not even close to the August high. So if this joins the party, look out to the upside. Our risk on, risk off measure, hat tip to Chris at Chavaco Capital. This is the S&P 1500. That's your 400 mid cap, 600 small cap. There's 1,000 plus the 500 large cap. That's 1,500 as a relative performance to 3 to 7 year treasury bonds. When it's risk off, investors prefer bonds to stocks like the COVID crash and the 22 bear market. When it's risk on, investors prefer stocks to the bonds, and we have a sharp rise higher. We can have long periods of time, a year plus, where it doesn't tell us anything. But when this broke out, I would contend we're in risk on mode again. So this guy still asleep on the picnic table, not threatening anybody. Financials, last week I wrote, hey, whoa, we had higher highs. We now broken that. Is this kind of an oops reversal? And after this week, I'd say no. Looking at the breadth on the financials, you can see that Visa and MasterCard, the second and third biggest, they had a pretty powerful week. The big banks, Wells, JP Morgan, Bank America, they all had good weeks as well. Only Citi was somewhat flat. The insurance had a good week with a couple of exceptions. No real negatives here. Schwab up 6.6%. My former colleagues will be happy with that. And the big banks, although didn't do as well as the XLF, but it's the small banks that are still in kind of ruh-roh territory. Part of the reason might be the 2-year treasury yield is rocketing back up towards 5% again, and it hit a high of about 5.1. As far as earnings next week, virtually nothing. Again, a holiday week. So to sum up, the bulls are back in town, and if the bulls want to run, you better let them. Russia proved to be a non-event, St. Patty's Day type week. The smalls are outperforming the biggies this week, and if they catch up and actually start participating in the rally, look out above, because it's clearly risk on. Financials may not be out of the woods yet, but they've crept at least to the edge of the meadow. So as my buddy HONU says, small losers win. Have a great week. Trade well.